right, loves, here we have the pulmonary system that we're going to be getting started with. The lungs, as you can see. Let's start by labeling everything. This area right here, what is it? Starts with an L, houses our vocal cords, la la la, larynx. This guy is our larynx. And we said what? Houses the what? Our vocal cords. Next we have this tube right here. What's this tube called? This tube runs down. Obviously not our esophagus, right? What is this guy gonna be? Our trachea. Nice job. So this guy, our trachea, is connected to these little things down here, right? What are these rings though? Cartilage? Smooth muscle? Yes, ma'ams and sirs. This trachea is made up of cartilage and smooth muscle, and it connects us to our next guy down there, which I'll tell you in just a sec. So we'll say it's a tube made of cartilage and smooth muscle. And I said it connects to something. What does it connect to? Our first little tubes within the lungs itself, because these are our right and our left lungs, correct? We're gonna call it our bronchus. Great. So down here, we'll just move it right down there, is gonna be our bronchus. But before I just leave it at that, we have a bunch of those kind of thick tubes, right? So if it's our first one, we're gonna call it our primary bronchus. All right, so that's our first kind of large airway that branches from our trachea here into each lung, correct? That's our primary bronchus. Next, our primary bronchus kind of branches off into these little, these things, right? So what are our next tubes gonna be? What did I call this? A primary bronchus? Take a guess what the next one can be. Secondary bronchus, good job. So this right here is gonna be our secondary bronchus. Great, and that's just a branch of the tubes. Okay, so then we went to secondary. Take another fancy guess for what the other little branch offs are gonna be. Third, tertiary, yes. So this guy right there is gonna be our tertiary bronchus. Also, bronchi for plural. That's for all of them. Now we're gonna do big differentiations. This guy right here is our left lung, correct? No, right lung. So then the other guy is gonna be our left lung. Which of them do you think is gonna be bigger? Your right or your left lung? If you guys said right, you were correct. Your right lung is going to be the bigger lung as opposed to your left lung. Why? Because your heart kind of positioned to the left, right? We know that. We gotta make some room for that heart to sit there. So if the left lung needs to compensate for that room that the heart needs, our right lung's gonna be bigger. And bigger means it also has more lobes. I realized the lights were kind of overcasting on this guy, so hopefully you can see better if I look worse. Okay, so I said the heart kind of sits around that left lung, right? So it makes this little kind of area for it, and we're gonna call this our cardiac notch. Cardiac heart notch. So I mentioned the lobes, right? Let's talk about them. This guy is our, if it's up, superior. This guy is down, so what's it gonna be? Our inferior lobe, good job. And because this guy has a random little guy in the middle, guess what it's gonna be called? The middle lobe, nice. Easy peasy, people. Anatomy is not that scary, don't get worried. Okay, so there's still a little more, because there are more kind of fingers or those tiny tubes that go and then connect to our last guy. Before I dive into that, let's just see what's happening. Okay, take a deep breath. We're inhaling that oxygen-rich air. It's going down through our pharynx, which is before the larynx, and that's kind of that passage that helps guide the food to the esophagus, but the air that we're talking about through the larynx, down through our trachea, into our what? Don't look. You guys start naming them. Bronchus, bronchi. But what comes before that? Primary bronchus, good job. Then our secondary bronchi. Then our tertiary bronchi, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then our last little guys that we'll talk about, okay? I'm gonna erase all this. I'm gonna show you the end of what it leads into, okay? Take a screenshot. Mentally. / rewind, I forgot. Okay. Okay, so we had this guy here. We ended on what we called the tertiary bronchi, right? Great, so now what's this teeny tiny little guy? This is your bronchiole. Sounds small, just like you have your arteries and then your arterioles. So this is your bronchiole. And then we're gonna have our guy here, the action guy. This is our alveoli. We're gonna say this is that, okay? This guy right here, the alveolar capillary membrane, this is where you're gonna see that gas exchange. Okay, when we talk about gas exchange, we know we breathe in oxygen and we breathe something out. What do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide, good job. So, this guy has something coming in, right? It's blue. Is this the, as our blood circulates everywhere, is this our deoxygenated blood? Correct? And by blood, I mean red blood cells. Okay. And then what's going to happen? So our deoxygenated, meaning it's dropping something off. It's dropping off that carbon dioxide, CO2. And what's it picking back in? What's coming back down? Should be getting that oxygen that we're breathing in. Great, so now it's picked up our oxygen and it is our now oxygenated red blood cells. Perfect. Great. Same with that. Last little mention we're gonna do is throughout those airway tubes that we mentioned, right? The bronchi, the bronchioles, etc. We're gonna see cilia. Okay, cilia are these little hair-like structures that help sweep up what? What do you think gets gunky when we like cough and you see a lot of that what? Sputum. What's sputum? That mucus. So this helps sweep up all that mucus. And mucus has little debris. Maybe there's smoke, pollutants that we've breathed in. So now that we know the pulmonary system, what are some things that can go wrong? Have you heard of some disease processes like COPD, pneumonia, asthma? All of that we're gonna cover with time. Tune into the next session and we'll get that done. And thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Also, if you are the type of person who likes to not just have a video to kind of reference and have to go back and like swipe through the whole video, if you like notes that are just all laid out of everything, I have created that so you can find everything that's here on just PDF documents that you can kind of look at like right before studying or when you're at clinicals or kind of any downtime. Go through everything to really have it memorized, because again, you don't just want to memorize this, you want to really retain the information and know the whys behind things, okay? So I'll leave the link somewhere in the description and you guys can check that out if you'd like. Otherwise, see you next time. Bye.